Welcome to our Hearts for Health team call, and tonight we have Donna Finzel. I'm so excited. We've been working on getting her on our team call for a couple of months now, and it finally worked out tonight. And so I'll just tell you guys, Donna is from Denver, Colorado. She's a Colorado native, but she and her husband Hans have lived many, many places, including Vienna, Austria, where they lived for 10 years and 2 of her kids were born there. She has a total of 4 grown children and 6 grandchildren. And now they make their home in Highlands Ranch, Colorado, with beautiful views of the Rockies. They've traveled the world and love this business. Love that this business is totally portable and gives them freedom to enjoy their family and travel and to share Juice Plus at the same time. When Donna found Juice Plus, the timing was really perfect for her to jump right in with the company as well. She moved up the marketing plan to National Marketing Director in 2.5 years. And back at the time Donna started, 2.5 years was blazing fast. It is still blazing fast, but back then it was extremely fast. And she won an Elton Award that same year as Rookie of the Year. So a quote from Donna is, "My Juice Plus business has given me the freedom to recreate my life, going from a stay-at-home mom to a mom on a mission, and now Nana on a mission. What a joy to be the CEO of my own Juice Plus virtual franchise and an NMD with the Juice Plus company. I love that I found that this company aligns with my own passion. Our Juice Plus company mission is inspiring healthy living around the world." And Donna is also a Bible teacher and a public speaker. And she served in women's ministries and prayer ministry. And together, she and her husband, Hans, co-authored the book, The Top 10 Ways to Love Your Wife. So tonight, Donna is going to talk to us about really creating a life of abundance with our Juice Plus business. And some of that really fits in from a Christian perspective. And that's really why I wanted Donna on this call with us to talk to us about that. So Donna, I will turn it over to you.
Thank you, Janice. Thanks so much. Thank you, everyone, for carving out the time on Sunday night to be with us. I'm glad to see you, Mick, one guy. Yay. And I love Janice and her team, and we go all the way back to the beginning when you jumped into the business with your best friend Jennifer Myers, and just what that's our favorite thing. Hans, my husband Hans, he says this is our tribe. We found our tribe with our Juice Plus family, and it's just so much fun to have been invited. Thank you so much, Janice, for inviting me to share tonight. So I had a lot of thoughts around this topic, and I mean, literally, there's just so much. It's so rich, that creating a life of abundance with your Juice Plus business. And specifically, Janice and I were kind of tossing around, the mindset that holds you back, the things that keep us from living from a place of abundance. So I thought I would start with my own business story. First of all, I'll just give you a real mini version of my product story, because I want to for sure make sure that we stay within about a half hour, 40 minutes maximum here. So I found Juice Plus 15 years ago through a neighbor inviting me to hear about Juice Plus, and I didn't know what that was, but I thought, wow, sounds great to me, and went to a luncheon. And the second I heard that it was fruits and vegetables in a capsule, I like wanted to raise my hand and say, I want that right now. And and the cool thing is that I had grown up really healthy. I was an athlete, but by the time I was invited to that luncheon, I was really sick. I lived between antibiotics and ibuprofen for a decade, and that just really wrecked my immune system. And so because it made sense to me, and I came home and told my husband what it was, he goes, we are doing this, and all the things that I tried to get well from my sinus infections that I tried before Juice Plus, he never tried. And so it was really cool that he said, we are doing this. And it also meant that I had to tell other people about it. So I jumped right in with with this, sharing it immediately as a business. And as Janice said, I moved up the marketing plan to national marketing director in 2.5 years, just from that place of joy. So here's some basics of my own business story. First of all, my Juice Plus business has changed my life. I was a stay-at-home mom with 4 kids, and our oldest was just heading toward college when I was introduced to Juice Plus. And it's so incredible that I am the CEO of my own business. I have so much joy, like Janice read, in making a difference. And I think all of us that have been doing this business for any amount of time have amazing stories, and I just can't even believe the stories that I have of people whose lives have been changed through the product and through the business. I've had over-the-top belief in Juice Plus from day one, and the tip to you out of that would be, if you do not have over-the-top belief, what Jennifer calls bulletproof, like your armor, that bulletproofs you to anything that would tear down your belief in Juice Plus or the Tower Garden, our company, even the industry. I would just say the number one thing that grew my business so quickly was saturation with our tools. Back in the day, it was videotapes and cassettes, and I turned my car into a Juice Plus University, and just continually saturated myself. And so I would recommend that you get yourself linked into all the amazing, everything's online now. I have on our team website, I have quick links. Jennifer has those as well on the Peak Team website. And I keep those updated. So like I have the very latest in sports ones. I love Jeff Olson in front of the rocks in Boulder talking about macro and micronutrition for athletes. I love Dr. Valerie Miles on kids. So I'll be happy to share my newest updated one with you, Janice. But that would be absolutely imperative for you to grow your business quickly. And then also my own business story was I had to get a job. I needed to find the income to help put 4 kids through private college. And as Janice shared this week, my kids all went to Christian University, and it's very expensive. It's like $30-some thousand a year. And so the cool thing about that is that my why was huge. You've heard about our why. That is, why do you do this business? For me, it was getting my kids off to college and helping to, that was my big why then. And now my big why really is freedom. And I'm going to really unpack that more at the end of our time together, because freedom really is my whole business story wrapped up in one word. And just on that note, I would encourage you, maybe Janice has done this with you guys, but write down 30 things that you are proud of and that you love about your Juice Plus business. And do this without judgment. Just sit down with a tablet. I've got a yellow tablet right here, or with your computer, and just start typing or writing the 30 things that you're proud of. Start with what I'm proud of. And, you will find, if you think, man, how could I ever come up with 30? You want to be sure that you find 30 that you're proud of and that you love. My list started number 1 with Jay Martin. I couldn't believe it. It was actually surprising to me. But I'm so proud of Jay Martin. I mean, I still am, and I've been with this company 15 years. So anyway, what Jennifer did with me in the exercise, and what I'd encourage you guys to do in developing your own passion and, really that positive mindset that we're talking about, the mindset of abundance, is to, look at the positive, focus on that, and then work with your sponsor, Janice, in digging down into those to find the one. You start with 5, find your 5 favorite out of the 30, and then go to 1. And that was really hard for me to do, but I'll unpack a little bit more why freedom is my whole business story at the end. So the last thing about my business story now is really the biggest part of my why is my team and their dreams and wanting them to get moved up the marketing plan and to find their own passion. And if you don't have a team, I would just say, bottom line is it loses fun. I have a team member right now in Northern Colorado, and I went up to do a talk for her last week, and she's really discouraged because she doesn't have a buddy, and Jay Martin says that's the number way to be successful in this business is to find a buddy. Okay, so let's talk about creating a life of abundance with your Juice Plus business. I love this quote from David Beavers, and it's so much about mindset. David Beavers, if you don't know him, he's one of the top leaders, like multi-hundred club national marketing director in our company. And I just love his quotes. They're so awesome. But he said, this business is a personal development program cleverly disguised as a business. I'll quote that again. It's a personal development program cleverly disguised as a business. So specifically, Janice and I, in talking through what I would share with you tonight, I wanted where the Christian part comes in is that it's kind of a strange fact that some Christians think that there's something about our business that makes them think, it just freaks them out to share with people about Juice Plus. Now, if they were going to go work at Nordstrom and sell $1,000 suits to people, they would never feel weird about getting their commission, right? But because we are in the business of making a difference in people's lives and pouring ourselves into people to help them both with their health and with their business, maybe with their wealth even, we get messed up in our heads. And so the mindset that I really wanted to talk about tonight, the opposites are scarcity versus abundance. And so scarcity, and I, having done this business for, like I said, 15 years, I've worked with many people with kind of a spectrum of scarcity to abundance, and people kind of fall in different places upon the spectrum of that. But a person that lives from a place of scarcity, and the standard, the glass half full or half empty, is it half full or half empty? But the scarcity mindset is never enough. Their mindset is that, there's never enough. Those people, it doesn't matter how much money they would make, they would never have enough, right? And they're always critical in their filter of everything. So when the company shifts, maybe we shifted from, the 5-1 to now the one simple change. It freaks them out, It's just a critical mindset of why are they changing things, right? Because we naturally are, acclimated toward liking familiar things, but it's also imperative that moving to an abundant mindset that you're willing to embrace change. So a scarcity mindset is really what is wrong with this, or with something, or with someone, looking for what's wrong instead of what's right. And I just really thought a lot about this in the last few weeks, and came up with this. Scarcity comes from a place of fear. Bottom line is scarcity comes from a place of fear. And it's also from a place of smallness. So those two words, scarcity comes from a place of fear and smallness. And our last quote at the end will address that smallness thing. So really, here's the dictionary definition of scarcity. It's an insufficiency or shortness of supply. An insufficiency or shortness of supply. And like I said, this is based out of fear, and fear is not love. Fear is the opposite of love. It's kind of funny. You don't think that. It's, yeah, there's bravery, but when you live your life from a place of abundance, it's really out of a security, for me as a Christian, and the love of God, basically. But fear makes you live small. So the bottom line with scarcity is you have to take action. You have to take action, or you will continue to live from a place of scarcity. And I'd like, in thinking through the people that I've worked with through the years who maybe weren't willing to change this mindset of scarcity, I thought of this question: is this the legacy you want to leave for your children? A small, scarcity fearful, or do you want to make yourself great? I have learned also in this business that scarcity and negative people go away eventually. They usually do. And, it's not because, some people might say, well, our business, they think that when they come to conference, there's going to be people standing in a circle singing Kumbaya, or, cheerleaders up at the front of the room telling you how you can make your millions. But that is really not what we're about. It really is about, growing and becoming the person that can get bigger and not live from such a place of fear and smallness. I love this fact that I share with my team when I remember it, but you've got to discipline your disappointments. Because one of the things about getting to national marketing director and beyond, up to the higher club levels, is realizing that you look at someone like Wendy Campbell, the #1 woman earner in the company, she's had more no's than anybody, right? And she has just not allowed those disappointments to tear her down. So what I wanted to say before we move on to abundance is ask these questions of yourself. First of all, what do you fear right now? What are you fearing right now? Is it picking up that phone or texting that person on your chicken list, or learning the verbiage to help connect and build a relationship with someone and not just blabber Juice Plus all over people every time you meet them? So what is it you fear right now? And I'd love for you guys to work on that, maybe in your Voxer group or whatever together. And then the second thing is, what is one practical thing you can do this week to remind yourself not to be afraid and also not to live from that scarcity place? And I just love this morning, actually, we did this exercise in my dad's Sunday school class at church. We did this very thing. I thought it was such great timing. And when we got to that question, what is one practical thing you can do this week to remind yourself not to be afraid? My dad said, memorize scripture. My dad was a pastor of amazing churches. He's now 88. And he told me today that he has memorized one of every 10 Psalms. And that blows my mind. So I haven't done that, but that is what my dad said to do, to overcome that scarcity mindset and that fear. And then the last thing under scarcity is, what can this team do to support you? And so that would be the last question under scarcity, to overcome it. Okay, so what about abundance? And where does it come from? Well, the bottom line, you guys, is it happens right here, between your ears, right here, right here in your head, right, Janice? Totally. I mean, it happens in your head. And the bottom line is, for success in your Juice Plus business, you have to have hope and belief that what you're doing matters. And Janice, I'll be happy to copy these notes and send them off to you. Okay. So you guys can have it all in writing if you want it. So you have to have hope and belief in what you're doing matters. And then take action from that place. And so living, from this place of abundance is no more excuses, right? I mean, Jennifer always says all excuses are equal. If you have a sick kid, or you stayed up too late, or a family member just died. Yeah, I mean, obviously they're going to affect you differently. But the bottom line is, when it comes to engaging with your business to be successful, it's what holds you back. It's what stops you. So yes, the great thing about our virtual franchise is you can, if you have a death of a family member or you have a crisis, you can step aside for a minute, for a time from your business. It's a beautiful thing of our business. But the bottom line is stop giving yourself excuses and living from that place. And what I'm talking about specifically is what is holding you back from going to St. Louis in October to conference? What is holding you back from going to your regional events there in Texas or coming with Janice to the Summer in the Rockies boot camp in June? What is holding you back from inviting that person that you know needs Juice Plus to the next event or to the next Facebook party or to your salad in a jar party? Go to your chicken list and engage with it and just write in big letters on your desk, no more excuses. So affirmations are really a big part of living from a place of abundance. And I know some of you have probably attended Bob Samara's image seminars, and there's a lot of different ways to grow developmentally. I have a team member that really believes in, goodness, what's it called? Life. Oh, you guys help me. What is that seminar that's been around forever?
Basic life principles.
Well, that's a good one, but I'm thinking of
Landmark?
what?
Is it Landmark?
Yes, Landmark. Yes. She's all about Landmark. And I know that Bob Samara's ways are not necessarily something that everybody embraces, but finally, after going to my 4th seminar and kind of like, duh, I finally wrote my affirmations out. And so here's how I carry them. I have them in a little makeup bag because I'm Donna, And so I'm all about makeup and girly things. But anyway, I just pulled out a few of them because the bottom line is even me and all of us that are national marketing directors and beyond, we have head stuff that happens. And I had not been doing this kind of stuff. I'd been allowing things to hold me back in my business. And so I started intentionally doing my affirmations morning and night. I wrote them out on 3x5 cards. And what Bob says is, and what actually Bree Bergford, one of our biggest rock stars on the Peak team, has really helped me get over myself with this, with some of the blocks I had about this. But you do this for 20 seconds. You read them silently, not out loud. You see the pictures, the imagery of what you're reading, and you feel the emotions. Because really what happens is, how it makes you feel is what we go from. That's where abundance comes from, out of our feelings, out of our heart. Our life flows from our heart. And there's a great quote on that. They won't remember what you say, but they'll remember how you made them feel. So that's what you want to make sure happens. So I'm going to just read a few of my affirmations here. And then I'm going to bridge those into specific scriptures that speak about abundance because it's really important for me personally. And I think it'll bless all of you, even if you're not someone that is, following God or the scripture. So these are my favorites. I, Donna, am continually a joyful surprise to myself.
Awesome.
It is within my power to choose my state of mind. I easily anticipate and experience events in my imagination before they actually happen. So on that note, I'm going to tell you what happened as I was doing this, is I was specifically building for our Tower Garden event that we had last month. And no, actually it was in March. And I specifically pictured a table full, and I hadn't had more than 2 people to any event in years and years, you guys. But I easily anticipated and experienced events in my imagination before they actually happened. So I just thought, I'm going to fill a table. And sure enough, I did. And it's just so cool how moving into a place of abundance with affirmations can impact you. I have a positive expectancy of reaching my goals. And I love this one. This is one of my favorites. I'm absolutely in the learning curve. I am learning to promote for events from a very awesome, intelligent, and respectful way, enough in advance to bring about incredible results. So yeah, the excuse, remember we're talking about no excuses of, oh shoot, Thursday night, Mitra's coming to town and I didn't invite anyone and it's Tuesday, you know? So no, being intelligent and respectful with your guests by giving them plenty of time. I am my own product and there is a waiting list. I love that one. And this is the final affirmation. My mission with my business is so much larger than I am. It is so profound that it drives me to a place of being selfless. So those are incredibly powerful in moving you into a mindset of abundance. So I wanted to share, like I said, a few scriptures with you and then a few more thoughts and then we'll be done if you guys have any questions. Specifically, if you want to look into what the Bible says about this, I would recommend looking at 1 John 4, verses 16 through 18. Because remember I said that scarcity is from a place of fear and abundance comes from love. So here specifically, I'm reading from the New Living Translation, 1 John 4, again I said 1 John 4, 16 through 18, and it says, we know how much God loves us and we have put our trust in his love. God is love and all who live in love live in God and God lives in them. And as we live in God, our love grows more perfect, so we will not be afraid on the day of judgment, but we can face him with confidence because we live like Jesus here in this world. And then here's the key verse that we all are more familiar with. Such love has no fear because perfect love expels all fear. If we're afraid, it is for fear of punishment, and this shows that we have not fully experienced God's perfect love. So I just love those verses. And one more passage I wanted to read is, well, actually, two. John 10:10, and that was 1 John. This is John, the Gospel of John, and I love the Amplified. And this is right after Jesus has been talking about that he is the shepherd that protects his sheep and that the sheep come through him, which is the gate. And I actually have an amazing teaching that I've done that I studied for years on Psalm 23, the Lord is my shepherd. And the beautiful thing around that is that a hired man or someone else who's watching the sheep or a thief come to kill, steal, and destroy, but the good shepherd will guard and protect the sheep. So that is the context of John 10:10. So it says in the Amplified, I just love the Amplified of this verse, the thief, which is that hired man, anyone who's going to steal from you guys, to steal your business, to steal your success, to steal your belief is a thief. And they come to steal, kill, and destroy. And Jesus said, I came that they may have and enjoy life. So he came not only to give us life, but for us to enjoy life and to have it in abundance and the Amplified says, to the full until it overflows, like a cup that overflows. So that's a really great one on abundance. And then finally, I wanted to show you guys, along with my affirmations, I wrote out scriptures that I read silently too every night. And I haven't been doing this while I've been here in Phoenix, but Numbers 6:24 through 26, and that is the blessing that God had Israel do every time they met together. The Lord bless you and keep you, make his face shine upon you, be gracious to you, lift up his countenance upon you, and give you peace. And then Galatians 5, the fruit of the Spirit. So I focus on that, which is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, self-control. And I love this last part of that verse, Galatians 5:23. Against such things there is no law. You know, we've lived around the world. Hans has traveled to 100 countries. You won't find a law that says it's illegal to be kind. So anyway, I love that. And then finally today I wrote out Philippians 4:4-9, and I put those on my card because this is what I want to focus my mind on to continue moving into a place of abundance. And I'm just going to read verse 8 that says, fix your thoughts. And that's, again, what we're talking about, what's between your ears, right? Fix your thoughts on what is true and honorable and right and pure and lovely and admirable. Think about things that are excellent and worthy of praise. Keep putting into practice all you learn and received from me. Everything you heard from me and saw me doing, then the God of peace will be with you. So I love that it's to keep putting into practice all that you have learned, because you think about our granddaughter just learned to ride a bike. Ireland is 5 years old. And, you know, you fall over, man. That's what happens, right? You have to keep practicing. And so practice being having an abundant mindset. So I told you guys that I would close with talking about freedom and our team name. Back, I think it was around 2010, we were always called the Finzel team. Hans and I are Hans and Donna Finzel. And somewhere around 2010, I mean, my kids all love Juice Plus, all 4 of them. All of our 6 grandkids are Juice Plus babies. And but I realized that nobody had my name on my team. And it's kind of like, well, I think we need to create another team name. And so I will also send you guys this all in detail because it's really cool. And I'm sure I don't know your team name, but I know you have a team name. And I would encourage all of you who are on the call with us tonight, excuse me, to choose a team name and a theme. I love that one word theme. We have been doing that now for 3 years on our team. And so I love that one word will change your life. So my one word again is freedom, but I want to read this quote from the book, One Word That Will Change Your Life, before I move into telling you about our team values. This is an amazing quote from that book, One Word That Will Change Your Life. Busyness is a disease that's robbing us of life. It brings on stress and exhaustion, and it weights, not weighs, weights, like putting weights on you, on your shoulders. It weights our hearts with anxiety so that we become numb and calloused to the most important things in life. Busyness throws us into survival mode and leaves no time for mission and meaning. That's an unbelievable quote. I'll send that to you guys. So what I would just say on that note is there are things, in spite of our mad pace of life in America, that we can do to lower the busyness. And that is, number one, turn off the TV. Don't sit with it on 24/7. Turn off C-SPAN. If you have it playing 24/7 in your house, or CNN or whatever, constant negative news. And in doing that, really whatever it is, whether it's being on social media or whatever, you got it to set aside time to really just be and not just do. And then ask, will this fuel me or deplete me and my mind? So how did I come to freedom and our new team name? Our team name is One spelled out, and the number 4, and the last part of it is freedom. So we are Team One, which means we're united to empower each other. And the number 4 spells out our team values. And our team values are 4 things. Number 1, it spells out safe. Our team values are safe. So Team One, for freedom. Our 4 values spell safe. The first is S for shining, which means we're shining in body and soul. You think about that. I'm going long here, Janice. Is it okay? Because we started about 20 till. I just have to tell you guys a quick story because gosh, last time, not this last time we were in Phoenix, but the time before, when we were coming into Phoenix for conference, there was an aeronautical engineer conference leaving. Just as we were coming in, and they were all at the Hyatt Hotel across from the convention center, and one of my team members was waiting to come up to the top of the Hyatt where we had our team dinner that night, and she said these guys were all sitting around, and women, and they were all sitting around and they were grumbling about, who are these shiny people? Useless people. They were making fun of them, and they were just saying, who are they? You know, what is wrong with them? But then when all the other people left, one of the men said to Catherine, he goes, what is with you people? You are so alive. You're just so shiny. He said, we sat around like a bunch of slugs for our conference, and you guys are just, so that's really what shining means in our team values, is you're just, you know, you're more alive. So we're shining, we're abundance. We live from a place of abundance in spirit and relationships. So S is for shining, A is for abundance, F is for fun. We have to have fun in all that we do. And E is enrich. And that is, we want to enrich the world and those around us. So, like I said, my whole business story could be wrapped up in the final word of our team name, and that is freedom. And here's the definition of freedom. It's the power to determine action. Sorry, I lost it there. It's the power to determine action. Okay, I lost the picture too. There. Okay. Are you guys still there? Okay. The power to determine action without restraint. The power to determine action without restraint. So remember, with your list of 30 things that you can write down that you are proud of and that you love in your business, what you do in finding the number one for you, mine was freedom, is when I came up with those 5, then I was working with Jennifer Myers at the time, and she goes, okay, tell me about those. So she dug down into each one of those top 5 things that I'm proud about my business in. And then when we got to freedom, that's when I started unpacking just what it really meant to me. And I started to tear up. And that's how Jennifer goes, okay, Donna, this is it. This is your whole business story in one word. And so for me, what is that? I realized that, remember I told you that my passion at the beginning was putting 4 kids through college, right? And but what I didn't know is, to be the CEO of my own business, for me, freedom is freedom to travel. Hans and I, you see my tan, we went to Cabo for 2 weeks. I traveled with him to Africa and to Asia, and still was able to keep my business alive. And the coolest part for freedom to me, and the reason I teared up, was that we had a doctor in the slums of Beirut, a French doctor. And she had a clinic that was, boy, think if I can think of a room, goodness, probably about, I don't know, a size of a room, maybe, I don't know, 300 square feet maximum, this whole clinic in the slums of Beirut, with trash everywhere, everything barred up, you know, you just can't even imagine. And this clinic, she served these people, thousands, if not millions of people that live on the streets. And she pointed up to the ceiling and she goes, I wish I could get our landlord to replace our ceiling, because it was blue paint and it was just peeling and falling down. I could just think of the people lying there being examined. And I look up at that ceiling, and there's this paint falling on them. You got to bet it had lead in it, right? You know. So anyway, so I said to this doctor, I said, well, how much will it cost? Because he wouldn't pay the money, the landlord, to replace it. And she goes, $400. So I looked at Hans, and he looked at me, and he knew right away what I was thinking. And that is, I'm going to give them a new ceiling. And so that's what freedom means to me. That I have the freedom, that I make enough money that I can do that. I could do that. And so that's the bottom line of living from a mindset of abundance. Okay, so how about you in closing here? Do those 30 things. Number one, do those 30 things. Secondly, join us in St. Louis. It's a non-negotiable. Make it happen. Talk to Janice, talk to your sponsor. I've never missed one in 15 years, and all the people who are still working on my team go to conference. So go to conference. Third, write down and put in your face something that will keep you in front of your own passion and mission. And what I got the recommendation from Sean, he always tells us this, Sean Myers, write down things at conference that you want to take with you. And for me, the very first conference I went to, again, it was David Beavers. He wrote this down. He said this, and I wrote it down, and it's still up in my office, but I kept it right on my desk in front of my face for those first years I was going to national marketing director. And he said, find 5 great people and pour yourself into them. And so that's what I would say, to be successful, find 5 great people and pour yourself into them. And then again, work on what's between your ears. What beliefs are you feeding? So in closing, I just want to read this quote that Janice reminded me of when we were talking on Voxer about this, and it's actually from the best-selling author, Marianne Williamson, and it's from her book, A Return to Love, Reflections on the Principles of A Course in Miracles. And so in closing, I'm going to read this quote. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. Your playing small does not serve the world. There is nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We are all meant to shine as children do. We were born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. It is not just in some of us, it's in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Donna. That's one of my absolute favorite quotes. I know we talked about it. And I took 4 pages of notes.
Oh, wow. Well, I'm glad. If it was helpful, I'm glad.
It was very helpful. Before we go, does anybody have any questions for Donna or comments?
Thank you. This is really great.
Thank you. It was really great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
It was. And
My pleasure.
We'll talk about this on our Team Voxer group, but I would love for you all to think about and share on our Voxer group the questions that Donna asked. What do you fear right now? What is one thing that you can do this week not to be afraid and not to live from scarcity? And then what can this team do for you? So think about those things. And if you're comfortable doing so, share those on our Team Voxer group, because I would love to get into some discussion about that.
Sounds great. I love it. And I'm happy also to Voxer with anyone too, if you have specific questions at all, or even just things you struggle with on this whole scarcity abundance thing. Because if you can't get it right in your head, you won't be successful in our business. So
definitely. Yeah. And Donna, thank you so much. And I'll just say, when I made that mindset change, some of you know my story, but I went for, I don't know, 7-ish years in this business of moving very slowly through the marketing plan, but not really making very much progress at any one time. And it was when my why changed. Donna talked about your why. My why became I needed to support myself and my kids. And that was that big why. But people always asked me, well, what changed? What changed was what was between my head. That is 100% what changed. And I gave up all of my excuses. And just like Donna said, excuses are all created equal. We all have excuses. And some of them are really, really good excuses. I had some great volunteer work that I was doing. I had a lot of things that were great, great excuses. I mean, being at home to cook dinner for my kids and put them to bed at night.
Yeah.
Those were important to me, but they were still excuses. And once I realized that I needed this business to support my family so that I could continue to stay home with my kids and continue to, to be really present in their life, I gave up all of those excuses and I stopped doing a lot of the volunteer work that I did. I do have plans one day to go back to that and to be able to do it in a much bigger way than I ever could have before. But for this time period, I've given those up because my focus went to my business. And, there were nights that my kids had to make their own dinner. There were nights that my kids had to put themselves to bed. And they're stronger for it. It wasn't easy. It wasn't easy for any of us, but they're all strong. We all are stronger for it. So
that's so great.
And Donna, thank you so much. When I first started this business, you were one of the first people I met. I went to my very first conference. I was brand new, and I went to Memphis, Tennessee by myself. and I met Donna. I met so many wonderful, wonderful people from Jennifer's team that live in Denver. And I have to say that, one of the highlights still for me of going to both conferences every year and going to the Colorado boot camp is getting to see Donna and my friend.
So I feel the same about you, Janice. You just light up a room, girl.
So thank you so much. We
absolutely.
Thank you. I'm looking forward to meeting you in St. Louis.
Fantastic. Who's that?
With Diane.
Hi, Diane. Great.
St. Louis will be my fifth conference.